Just in case anyone out there is wondering, I did move, so this is going to be my new background. It's not fully set up yet, but over time, hopefully it'll get better. I just want to say, I'm not like a huge fan of The Lion King. I didn't watch it growing up. It's one of the most popular animated Disney movies. Everybody knows the Lion King story. Even I know the Lion King story, and I didn't even really watch the cartoon version. I mean, I didn't watch it until later in life, but I did watch 2019 live action. It's not really live action, is it now? I don't know if this new Mufasa, the Lion King movie, was made for adults or if it was made for children or kids, but I watched it as an adult who is not a Disney adult. And Mufasa is another prequel. It's like his backstory, how he became king. And I was pretty curious because at least it's an original story. It's not just a remake of something we already know. Watching it as an adult was kind of a weird experience because it's not animation. I feel like I overthought a lot of things. For example, when the movie begins, we see Simba looking at the sky. He's looking at the clouds and he's like, Nala, I'll be joining you soon. And the first thing that came to mind was, oh my God, Nala passed away and now Simba's about to die. But no, Nala was just pregnant. She was like somewhere in the jungle, in the cave, ready to give birth. And then Simba was gonna go be by her side. I don't even know why she had to give birth far away, but okay. And so this whole movie just begins, and then Kiara, their daughter. I thought Kiara was a boy. I probably should have known by the name, but obviously I don't pay attention to names. So she's like staying back at Pride Rock and it's about to thunderstorm and she's kind of scared. So then Timon and Pumbaa come and they're kind of like her babysitters, and then Rafiki is also there. And they're telling her this story about her grandfather, the legend of Mufasa, I guess, which I don't think we needed. In my mind, it would have been more interesting if it was about Scar. I mean, it is kind of about Scar, but Mufasa's like the face of this story. And Scar is kind of on the side, and they totally butchered his story. I was waiting for an actual story that made sense, but it honestly didn't. And the reason it didn't make sense for me as an adult is because the whole time, I was waiting for them to like actually eat another animal. I mean, they're lions. I guess this is made for kids, so we're probably not going to see lions hunting and actually eating another animal. But I mean, it was also hinted at many times in the movie that lions need to eat other animals. And yet this whole theme of the movie was that Mufasa was able to gather everyone, to unite all of the other animals to help him fight against these other lions. The one thing that got me interested in watching this movie was the fact that Mufasa and Scar are not even blood related. I always assumed that they were, but in this movie, they decided to sort of change that. And so Scar is actually the rightful heir to the throne. He is from royal blood. He had a really terrible dad. I mean, Scar's father in this was kind of trash. And then Mufasa was kind of separated from his parents at a very young age and then adopted by Scar's mom. Scar always wanted a brother. Apparently he always wanted a brother. I'm an only child. I never wanted siblings, so I can't understand. Can't relate to Scar. In this movie, I was just waiting to see when Scar was gonna kind of flip. I feel like this movie should have been more of a villain backstory for Scar, but they decided to, they wanted to make a good heroic legend of Mufasa. But it's kind of weird now knowing that Mufasa wasn't even like royal and he kind of just stole the throne away from Scar. I don't know Scar. I guess he's supposed to be a villain. Like, I don't think he's intended to be a gray villain, but they always try to go the gray route with all the morals in live action movies. So I thought they were going to make Scar sort of a gray villain in that he's only against Mufasa because they have different ideologies. Mufasa's kind of one of those traditional rulers, and where Scar's gonna fight for the underlings. He's gonna fight for the weak, the hyenas. I don't know where my mind was going with this, but I thought that was gonna be the theme. But it wasn't. It turned out it wasn't. It turned out that Mufasa was just born with special skills, like a sixth sense where he can sense things from far away, and he's brave, and he saved Scar's mom. He was really close to Scar, and he tried to help Scar in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day, all the good stuff, everything fortunate just happened to Mufasa because he was born to be a king, and then Scar was kind of just tossed to the side, and then he betrayed Mufasa over a girl. Nobody cared about Scar. They kind of just put him in there because they can't just leave him out. This whole story was kind of contrived, but the main goal was that Mufasa was trying to find the Forever Land, or whatever they called, Malele. Mufasa, using his wits. Apparently he was also smart. He was better than Scar in every single aspect. What was the point in Scar? The only thing Scar had going for him was his royal blood, but his dad was also a loser. And in the end, when they did find Malele, there was already lions there. There was animals there. And then Scar betrayed Mufasa, so he led the white lions there. Mufasa rallies all the other herbivores. His meals, besides the elephants and the giraffes maybe, and the hippos that lions don't really hunt, all of the other animals are like their food source. So it's like, how are you able to get them to help you? What is he going to do when he needs to eat? What is you just choose some random gazelle's kid, some random zebra's child? It just doesn't work. And then he eventually ends up being king. Obviously, they all defeat the white lions. Scar kind of gets his scar by saving Mufasa. I don't understand. Scar's motivation in this made zero sense. First of all, he wanted a brother. They were good friends. Mufasa really didn't try to take anything from him, but it just happened to be. Mufasa took everything away from Scar, and the final straw was his girl. He took Sarabi away, even though he didn't want to, but I guess Mufasa also liked Sarabi, but Sarabi liked Mufasa, and then Scar liked... So it was like a love triangle, but not really. It was just Scar was a third wheel. He was a scaredy cat the whole time, and yet the moment Sarabi chose Mufasa over him, he turned around and went back to the white lions, and they kind of just accepted him. And I'm just like, but you were running away from them this whole time because you were scared. And now you're just brave enough to go back and negotiate with them. So it was weird. But then in the end, he decided to save Mufasa, which I didn't understand that either. I don't understand what made him jump in, get his scar, also still have this strained relationship with Mufasa. And in the end, this whole thing was a story. And so in the middle of the movie, there were so many times we got taken away from the story part and we went back to Timon and Pumbaa just making some jokes. They're like the comedic relief, breaking the fourth wall, but it was so annoying. I didn't like that. I'm just like, why are you pulling me out of this story? Simba and Nala come back after she births the newborn. I don't know his name. It's a boy. And because I thought Kiara was also a boy, I'm just like, oh my God, they're two brothers like Mufasa and Scar, except they're blood related. But then I found out she's a girl. I don't know what I'm supposed to take away from this, because I thought this movie was about different ideologies, different ways of ruling, or different moral values. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like that, because, it feels like when you make live action, you're targeting like an older audience, but at the same time, I'm like, no, it's for kids. But did kids even like this? I need to go ask a kid if they like this movie, because I was waiting for the lions to eat, but they didn't. They were about to eat the bird. I forgot his name. They were about to eat Rafiki, but they didn't eat him. They didn't ever show them hunt at all. They didn't eat anything in this.